Hi, it's Megan. So I have promised more fragrance reviews because I tend to fall behind on them. They take a little bit longer and then I have to wear the fragrance for a couple of days and I have to think about it, I have to write it down, then I have to remember my notes, where I put them. So this is the Bronze Goddess by Estee Lauder. And I picked this one for my next fragrance review just because, well, we're heading to warmer weather and this is something that, I don't know if it's a limited edition, but it seems to be mostly available year-round now. But it's one of the kind of basics of the summer release fragrances. And so, Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess, it is 3.4 ounces, it's $65. They call it an Eau Fraiche vaporizer Skinscent spray. So this is not a perfume. They say the original alluring Eau Fraiche is back for another spring-summer season. Seems around a lot. A sensuous sun-drenched blend of bergamot, warm amber, tiare flower, and vanilla combined with delicious creamy coconut. Bronze Goddess is the fragrance that worships every inch of you, which I think means you're supposed to drench your whole body. So the notes are amber, coconut milk, sandalwood, vanilla, vetiver, myrrh, juicy mandarin, Sicilian bergamot, lemon, pulpy orange, tiare flower, magnolia petals, jasmine, orange flower buds, lavender. And they say sensuous, alluring floral. So what I do is I spray this on, I write everything that I think about it down, and then I go and I read the description, and then I spray it on again and I see if I can smell it. And so we're gonna get to that in a minute. So first, when I first smell it, okay, honestly, there's a certain similarity between a lot of these fragrances, right? They smell like coconut, white flowers, and then they throw other things in. And usually it's like a sunscreen-ish feel to it. I have it on now. This one leans a little bit more floral, and it does remind me of the new Tom Ford Soleil Blanc. A little bit, except more floral. That is not such a surprise since Tom Ford is owned by Estee Lauder. Now, do I think that this is a cheaper way to get Soleil Blanc? No, I do not. But I do think that there's some similarity. So, like I said, with a lot of these, there's a certain undercurrent of fragrances and then they're all done a little bit differently. So when I first smelled this one, I definitely got on the first spray the cocoa, the white flowers, and I got vanilla. And when I was talking about Soleil Blanc, when I did that review, I talked about young coconut. This feels like a little bit more ripe coconut. I get a really strong, but not like that tropical sweet. This is not a sweet fragrance. It's definitely got that floral kick to it, but not, it's like a sharper tropical floral, not a super sweet honey-ish floral, if that makes sense. So I got a really warm, rounded fragrance totally on the first spray. Did not get the lavender, did not get the citrus, but I did get the amber, which warms scents up. And I did get the sandalwood as well, but these other, and the vetiver and the myrrh to me is a hard one to pick up. Honestly, that's more and I have actually pure myrrh in an essential oil. Somehow it's just one of those fragrances that I don't pick up in other mixes so much. So I can't really comment how much the myrrh is in this. But I didn't get the citrus. I didn't get some of this other stuff. And I definitely did not get the lavender. As I wore it a little bit, I felt like the vanilla and the coconut got a little bit stronger for the first 2 hours. And how did I write it down here? Oh, I said, I think this is less complex than some of the other scents in this category. And I don't think that this category has the most complex scents to begin with. I'm just drawn to them because I grew up in the warm weather and I like anything that smells like sunscreen, even a little bit. The cocoa over time gets a lot softer, and I felt like the vanilla and amber really opened up. So again, we're getting a warm, smell it again, a warm fragrance, But what really struck me as I wore it longer and longer is I did start to pick up the citrus. And so we've got pulpy orange, Sicilian bergamot, lemon, juicy mandarin. If you're hearing, those are not the citrus in the lime, lemon, sharper category. These are the sweeter, rounder, again, not a sweet fragrance, but you're getting more that family than, because there's also that summer fragrance line of the lemon, lime kind of things, and sometimes they'll throw in bay leaves or other things, which is more masculine. This is much more feminine than some of the other, like Soleil Blanc, which can really go to unisex. This one I don't see as a unisex fragrance. The flowers, I save those almost for last. You've got the sandalwood and the amber to talk about too, but the florals, so tiare, someone's going to complain about the way I pronounce that, jasmine, magnolia, orange flower, and then lavender. As I wore this about 2 to 3 hours in, this started reminding me of Youth Dew, which is a floral with vanilla, and some of the other scents here. It's one of the classic Estee Lauder fragrances. But I felt like the longer I wore this, the more the floral element took over. And it's not like I lost those tropical coconut, all that, whatever. But it became much more of an Estee Lauder kind of a fragrance, which is not a bad thing. That's where, you know, you're going to pick what of these fragrances you like. And this one definitely has more of a feminine floral feel to it, especially on me as I wear it. It's not the longest wearing fragrance, which makes sense since it's not a perfume. It's an Eau Fraiche. It's an Eau Fraiche. I did love the fact that this has the amber and the sandalwood. And if I remember correctly, I should have checked, but if I remember correctly, Youth Dew has sandalwood as well. And that's going to add a little bit of that oomph, that depth that keeps a fragrance from being flat on. It's a really well-balanced mix of fragrances that actually shifts more on me more than some other scents do, which I kind of enjoy. You know, it's not as boring. And it never got unpleasant even as it was changing. So, overall, sensuous, alluring, and floral. I'm really glad that the brand described it as floral, because like I said, you know, that's going to be an advantage for some people and a disadvantage for others. Is it an old lady scent? No, I really don't think it is. I would say if you mix Youth Dew with the Bobbi Brown Beach, you're probably starting, or if you take, you're probably starting to get what this smells like. It's less also sunscreen-ish than some of the others I've smelled. And with the selection of flowers in this one, you really are getting kind of a classic floral fragrance, a little bit more depth and balance of different types of flowers than you also sometimes get with these summer beachy scents. So I think that's all I have to say. How long would it last on me? I would say, you know, for a good 5 or 6 hours I can smell it, but it definitely starts to fade about that time. And I don't spray it on my whole body, but that's kind of a fun idea since it isn't heavy at all. This is not one of those that you're going to want to wear in front of a toasty fireplace in the wintertime. It's got a light feel to it. I think that's all I have to say. If you have it, I've had some wonderful suggestions for other floral, summer, beachy fragrances, and I'm just getting through my things one by one, so we'll see what I do next. A little behind. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe on YouTube because it does help me a lot.